They keep on disturbing.
Just a minute.
Now we are preparing to go live.
Screen share. बॅकग्राऊंड मध्ये दिसतंय ना, त्याच्यामुळे जरा मला.
Now don't talk. We are going live. We are live now, but it is still 3 minutes to go. Have you invited somebody?
No. I just told my students, evening students and morning students. I shared the link with them.
You didn't share the Zoom link just now, no? Some Ramchandra Paikare is.
No. I didn't share the Zoom.
Joined on his own.
No, I did not.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Forum to enjoy English language, feel, and RSMDACC Dharampet Arts and Commerce College welcome you all to this BCom English Semester 1 online lecture series. This series started on 26th of October, and we already have completed Unit 1 Prose, all the 3 lessons of Unit 1 Prose, and this is a collaborative teaching learning experience, and it is specially, this activity is for students. And in this series, today we have with us a very dynamic, a brilliant, and a very industrious faculty in English with us, and she is Dr. Savita Deogirkar. It is my pleasure, yes, to introduce her to you. Dr. Savita Deogirkar is working in the Department of English, VMV College, Nagpur, as an associate professor. Since last 20 years, she is engaged in the noble cause of imparting knowledge. She is a poet, reviewer, writer, and a researcher. She has 18 research papers to her credit, and she has edited 4 books till date. A visiting faculty in PGTD of English, RTM Nagpur University, an erstwhile BOS member of Gondwana University, she holds a position of BOS member, Science Language Board of RTM Nagpur University, and has an engaging profile on Academia Edu. She adorns the position of a resource person in refresher courses organized by SGB Amravati University and Nagpur University and the colleges in the vicinity to talk on theories and soft skills. So it is
Thank you so very
indeed
much,
yes,
Manjushri.
an honor
This was the lengthiest one.
for you to have to be here amidst us
Thank
today.
you so very much.
And friends, she's going to deal with Unit 2, Lesson 1, the Model Millionaire. So we are all fortunate to listen to Dr. Savita Deogirkar. So over to Savita.
Thank you, Manjushri. Good evening, all of you. I wish this will be a very fruitful journey together because, this was a wonderful, or you can say unique endeavor which you have started to have orientation program for the students as well as teachers, because as you all know, we have inducted the new syllabus from this year 2020 in that particular scenario where we all are driven in pandemic world, so things are getting difficult, and that is the reason why this can be called as the best exercise, keeping in view the student centric activities through Phil. Thank you so very much for giving me this opportune time to interact with the students, and I wish it should be a very fruitful and entertaining session. Thank you so
Yes,
very
yes, definitely it will be. Yes,
much. Should I start then?
yes, yes, you can start.
Okay. I wish to share my screen so that we can start. Now here we are trying to understand what is called as the short story written by one of the very famous uh, Irish writers, Oscar Wilde. He has been continuously writing his plays. In fact, when he started his career with writing short stories, and that may be the sole reason why the model millionaire even today is a very famous and a very lovely story which we can introduce to the PG and UG level students. When we talk about short stories, we have to consider some very important issues coming up while dealing with the short stories. It's not a new genre for all of us, you see. Since last couple of years, the students from the schools, they have been introduced with the short stories as a rapid section. Not only the rapid section, but these short stories are deliberately given to the students so that they can read the stories by themselves, and they would try to understand the stories by themselves without any teacher's help or without anybody's direction. So that may be the sole reason why this story has been introduced to become first Sem students, the model millionaire. Okay, so Oscar Wilde, when we talk about Oscar Wilde, he was born in 1854 and died in 1900. Now if we look at the span or the period of Oscar Wilde as a writer, you will find that only 45 years he has been working as a writer. But then when he produced such plays like The Importance of Being Honest, then the picture of Dorian Gray, all these important plays he has written, and that is the sole reason why he has been acknowledged as one of the very great English writers in English. Okay, so we are talking about the model millionaire today. So let us begin, as it is a very interesting story. Stories are not unknown to us. I mean, the stories cannot be taught to us, because since since childhood we are trying to listen to the bedtime stories. We are listening to the stories told to us by the mythological books. We have been given fables as well. We have been given picture stories. Since childhood we have known the genre called short story. So when we talk about short story, one has to be very cautious about understanding this genre. Short story has got only or one or two incidents. You may call them conflict, okay? And this sets a single tone, or one particular emotion is carried out throughout the story from the beginning till the end. That is the important characteristic of the short story. And the model Millionaire can be called as the best example of these characteristics. Here you will find that Oscar Wilde is talking about some very important issues. Now, before we go to the exact story, what exactly is given to us in the model Millionaire, I wish to, start some kind of brainstorming session here. In this slide, I have given you some pictures, okay? And these pictures are showing you what exactly is given to you is not I mean, the appearance is always deceptive, If we see the first picture of the iceberg, what we can see by naked eyes is the small piece of iceberg. But inside the water, you will find that that iceberg is 3 or 4 times double. So appearances are always deceptive. What you see cannot be always true. I mean, if you are looking at me externally, you cannot understand what exactly is my character or what is my nature unless and until you speak to me, unless and until we are closely associated with each other. So appearances are mostly deceptive. What is shown to you may not be true, or what you are seeing may not be always true. The best example one can cite here through the picture of iceberg. So what we see, you must have seen that movie Titanic, that iceberg, what iceberg's shape is seen, it's not that enough. We have to consider it 4 times or 7 times double underneath the water. So it is exactly talked about that appearances are always deceiving. The second picture is also the beautiful description. A small plant has come up from the carrot, and the other person has got a huge plant, and he thinks that he has succeeded in his life. But if you look at the under the soil, you will find that the small plant has got a huge carrot, whereas the huge plant has got a small carrot. So appearances are often deceptive, you see. And the best proverb is often quoted by all of us. We always say that never judge a book by its cover. When you look at the book's cover, you cannot decide whether it is a entertaining book or whether it is interesting book or not. You have to open the book, you have to go to the pages, you have to read the pages carefully, and you will find that it has got an amazing story. So judging the book by its cover is not good. I mean, some amazing stories are missed out. If you are judging the book by its cover, it is possible that you are going to miss the amazing story which is given to you through the book. So do not judge yourselves. Whatever is appeared in front of you, you should not judge by simply appearance. Okay, you have to go through uh, these books or these stories in a very very proper way. And the other example can be cited here with the fourth picture which is shown to you on my screen. A small a man is standing in front of a lamppost, and the shadow is huge one. So if you think that the man has got a very small worth, or a man is not that capable, you are very wrong. It is possible that we are missing something or other, and that's the reason why we should not judge the book by its cover. The best example can be cited here, how the appearances are often deceptive. Here you have got the example of Karthayani Amma. Karthayani Amma was literally 96 years old, and she was asked to give the academic test of her life. And you will be amazed to know that when you look at this aged lady, you may think that she was not good at academics, okay? But That is exactly what I have repeatedly told to you. Appearances are often deceptive. What you see may not be the true story. Okay, you have to get connected with that person. You have to understand his worth. You have to go through the story of his life. You have to make friends with him, and then only you can understand that what you have thought about that person is not the truth. The truth is more than what we have imagined. Now when we talk about I'm sorry, when we talk about the story, generally these questions come to us. Okay, who, what, when, where, how, and why. So when we talk about all these WH questions, these are the questions one has to ask if we want to understand the story I'm sorry, by ourselves. Okay, so who and where, what, how, when, and why. When we talk about these questions, when we ask these questions to ourselves, we have to understand that we are trying to understand what exactly is given to us in the story. For example, when we come to the first question, who. Now these are the who's of the story in the model Millionaire. There are some important characters which are dealt with by Oscar Wilde in this story, The Model Millionaire. This is the first answer to the question who. Now, when we talk about the characters, there are two important characters which we often find in the story. One is a major character and the other one is a minor character. Here also you will find that there are some major characters and some of them are minor characters. What do you mean by major character? Major character, the story revolves around those characters. Okay, they are the major characters. And minor characters, they have simply they have simple appearances, small appearances in the story. Some dialogues are given to them and they are vanished from the story. So these are the minor characters. Now Huggy Erskine was the major character of the story, and Ellen Trevor. Now these two are Huggy Erskine and Ellen Trevor. They are the major characters. Okay, Huggy is the hero of the story, and Ellen Trevor is the best friend of Huggy. Okay, now Laura Merton is the heroine of the story. Now you can understand there is a hero in the story, there is a heroine in the story. There are some characters which are woven in the story. Okay, they have their own appearances and their exits. So Alan Trevor is the painter here. He is also a major character in the story. Laura Merton cannot be called as the major character, though she is the heroine of the story, because Laura has been introduced to you as a minor character. She has been referred as the heroine of Huggy Erskine. Okay, and Laura has been introduced to us through her father. Okay, Colonel Merton. So these two can be called as the minor characters here. Laura is the daughter of Colonel Merton. Okay, and there is one beggar there who is not exactly the beggar. His name is Baron Hausberg, and he may be called as the major character, though there is no much dialogue given to Baron Hausberg, but he is treated to be the major character. We will come to that part of major character later on. As I will be going through my lecture, I will be explaining to you how he can be called as the major character. And Gustav Nordin is again a minor character. Now, when we talk about Baron Hausberg, he is the richest man in Europe. Okay, and he is a beggar in the story. Now, here we have been given the answer to who are there in the story of the model millionaire. Now, when we talk about who, what, when, where, how, and why, we have to understand that there is a story. Okay, there is a story. Now, here we have been given the answer to who are there in the story of the model millionaire. Now, when we talk about who are there in the story of the model millionaire, the beggar or the Baron, the name Baron Husberg and Gustav Nordin. All these characters are found in the story, which is given title by Oscar Wilde as the model millionaire. Okay. Now, this first question, who are they? It's the answer can be obviously given to you, that these are the characters which comprise the story or which are woven in the story. So there are three important characters here we have already discussed. One is Huggy, Erskine, okay, Alan Trevor, who is the friend of Huggy, okay, and the beggar, who is the richest man in Europe. His name is Baron Husband. Now, when we talk about these three characters, the whole story is revolving around these three characters, okay. And Laura Merton and Colonel Merton, they are in the periphery. In the periphery, they are not directly referred here, they are indirectly referred through Huggy and Alan's discussion. Sometimes Huggy goes to meet Laura, of course, but the dialogues which are given to Laura, they are not much. So we can treat Laura as the minor character in the story. Okay, so this is the question who, which has been answered through these characters. Okay, and now these characters are playing their role in the story. There is this character, Huggy Erskine, who is the hero, and he has got brown hair. He is very handsome, and he is a lovely figure. But though he is a lovely figure, you have to realize that poverty uh, is very important. I mean, when you are a poor person, when you are not privileged, if you do not have any profession, if you are unable to earn some money, romance is not your cup of tea. So always in the beginning of the story only, the author has told you that unless one is wealthy, there is no use in being a charming fellow. So Huggy Erskine is a very charming fellow. He has got brown hair, he has got beautiful eyes, and he is very famous in men as well as in women as well. People like him a lot, but frankly telling you, he is in love with Laura Merton, but he is unable to earn money. He is unemployed. So Huggy is unemployed. He tried his hands, he tried to sell sherries. He tried to work in he was a good looking man, so he tried to try his hands in different businesses. But sorry, state of affairs take place in the life of Huggy, and he cannot get success in all his businesses. He does not become a businessman. And all in all, when we consider Huggy's character, we understand that though he is a good looking man, though he is a good looking fellow, though he is a charming fellow, being unemployed is the biggest issue, which cannot be considered in a very lighter way. People used to be always giving importance to those grooms who would earn some money, who would earn their bread and butter. But look at the tragedy in the life of Huggy Erskine. He tries his hands in different businesses, but somehow his fate is sealed. He is not a successful businessman. He tries his luck in so many businesses, but he does not get employment, and he has got no employment. So that is the major character we are referring here. But this character, being a very charming fellow, he happens to become the friend of Alan Trevor, who is a painter. Okay. Now, Alan Trevor is a painter in Holland Park. And on one condition, Huggy Erskine is given entry to his studio. And what is that? That he is a good fellow who looks very handsome, and he can sit there. He can have a small chat when Alan Trevor is not busy, when he is not painting. So he can talk to him, and thus the friendship grows slowly, gradually. So this is how we are trying to understand the bond between Huggy Erskine and Alan Trevor. Everything which ever happens in the life of Huggy Erskine, in the love affair of Huggy Erskine with Laura Merton, all the details are known to this Alan Trevor. Okay, now coming back to the next see, I have already stated Huggy Erskine is a very handsome and a good-looking, brown-haired young man. He's very, very kind-hearted person. But frankly telling you, Huggy is a very poor fellow. He cannot earn money. He has got no profession. Though it is the fact, he is a very honest person. He has got all the honesty in him. He is very loyal to his friends. He is very kind-hearted. He is very generous, and he wishes to marry the daughter of a retired colonel, and the name of the daughter is Miss Laura Merton. Okay, now we retired colonel wants even a retired colonel likes this person Huggy, but there is one condition put forward when there comes the marriage of Laura. And what is this condition? Retired colonel asks Huggy to earn 10,000 pounds if he wants to get the hand of his daughter. Now, this is the conflict which has come up in the story, that this love affair between Huggy Erskine and Laura is conditioned. They cannot marry each other. Reason being, Huggy is though he is honest, though he is kind-hearted and a good-looking, charming fella, he cannot be given the hands of Laura. Laura cannot get married to Huggy. Reason being, he has got no profession. He is unemployed. He has to think practically. It's very clear. I mean, unless and until you earn money, unless and until you win bread and butter, nobody will give their daughters' hands to the person. So though you are a good looking person, though you are a handsome person, earning bread and butter is the prime most concern of each and everybody's life. And when we talk about the father, retired colonel, father of Laura, of course the father also wants to consider this issue in a very serious manner. Okay, now when we talk about Huggy and retired colonel, of course retired colonel likes Huggy. In fact, Huggy is a frequent visitor in the household, house of retired colonel. Uh, and these two, the retired colonel and Miss Laura, they are living nearby the Holland Park. Okay, now frequently, every day rather, mostly Huggy goes and he meets these two. But the condition is applied. The retired tells Huggy, if he wants to get married to his daughter, he has to earn 10,000 pounds. Unless and until he earns 10,000 pounds, he will not be able to marry Laura. In a very disappointed manner, Huggy Erskine comes back. While coming back while coming back from Holland Park, he happens to go to the studio of Alan Trevor, who is the painter. And when he enters into the studio, at that time, Alan Trevor is painting Alan Trevor is painting a beggar, and the beggar is standing. The model beggar is standing on the corner, on one of the corners of the studio, and Trevor is trying his brush and color, and he is sketching the beggar. This beggar has got the cobbled shoes. He has got the rugged dress, and he has got one stick in his hands, and the other hand is holding his cap for the arms. Okay, arms, the money which has been given to the beggar. Okay, and this kind of a posture is given to the model, and the painter Alan Trevor is trying to paint the model. Okay, so when he looks at the model, Huggy is awestruck. He thinks that the beggar is very poor. Look at the dress, look at the expressions which he is carrying. He has got no money, he has got no food to eat, and it's all about poverty ridden person who is standing in front of Huggy and Alan Trevor. But then Alan Trevor goes for a break. He takes a break and he goes away. And in between, what happens to Huggy? Huggy checks his pockets and he finds one sovereign. Okay, he finds one sovereign and he thinks that this sovereign is to be given to the beggar, because the beggar has got no money. The way he is carrying himself, it seems as if he is uh, starving for days together. And that is why, out of sympathy, you may say, out of charity, what happens? Huggy gives one sovereign to the beggar. Okay, the beggar sits for a while. He rests on the bench as soon as Trevor takes a break. Okay, the beggar also sits on the bench and he is resting. So before that, Huggy talks to Trevor and he asks Trevor, "What do you get out of these paintings?" Trevor says they get money in guineas. Okay, the painters, the musicians, and the writers, they get guineas. They do not get pounds, but they get guineas. They earn money uh, as guineas. Okay, and then obviously Huggy Erskine asks the second question, and how about this fella who is the model of your painting? What do you give him? So he says he gives him 1 shilling. Okay, now 1 shilling and guineas, there is a vast difference between the two. The model is posing himself for hours together for the painter, and the painter is trying to sketch the painting of this beggar. And later on, after this painting will be completed, after this painting will be framed, the painter will get good money out of it. He will earn good money. But as compared to earning good money, the model may not get sufficient money. What is expected of, what is to be given to him, that will not be given to him, because he is a model only. So that these questions are asked to Trevor, and Trevor takes a leave for a minute or two. And in between, before the painter comes back and joins his painting, uh, joins his painting and continues his painting, what happens to Huggy? Huggy gives a particular small penny sovereign in the hands of the beggar. And he feels so happy. He is satisfied. I mean, he is so very contented that okay, what he could get, he has given to the needy person. He thinks that he is a beggar and he needs money as compared to Huggy himself. So out of sympathy, out of charity, out of generosity, what happens? Huggy gives the sovereign to that beggar. Okay, and later on, he very happily he takes a leave and he leaves Trevor. After coming back home, Huggy feels very happy that he has done a very good job, and it is possible that he may enter this, charity in his journal, in his diary at night. That he has done a wonderful job. He tells Laura as well that he has offered 1 sovereign to this beggar. Okay, but Laura scolds him like anything, and she says that you yourself is having no money, you are unemployed, you have got no profession, you do not earn money, and whatever you have, you got rid of that penny as well. You also you gave that sovereign to the beggar as well. So this scolding takes place, but still at heart, Huggy is very happy that she has done a wonderful job by offering a sovereign to the beggar. Okay, uh, and he leaves the studio of Trevor. Later on, after say 11 o'clock, Huggy thinks that he should take a look at the studio. By that time, Trevor must have finished the painting, and he must have framed it. So he takes again he goes to the studio, he visits the studio, and he asks Trevor whether the painting is completed or not. And Trevor says, yeah, it is completed. Not only completed, but the painting is also framed. Okay. And then Trevor tells Huggy that, you see, after you left the studio, the beggar man asked me everything about Huggy. Okay, the beggar, the baron. We are talking about the millionaire. Okay, that millionaire, that richest man in Europe. He has talked about Huggy. He got all the information about Huggy through Trevor, and Trevor tells Huggy that I told everything about you. Okay, about your affair with Laura and the conditions put by retired colonel about the marriage to be sought. Okay, the nuptial knot will take place after uh, 10,000 pounds will be earned by Huggy. So all the details are given to this baron by me. The beggar asked me about you, and Trevor tells Huggy that, yeah, I told everything. Huggy gets angry with it. He doesn't like it. And Huggy says, why did you tell him unnecessarily? It was my personal affair. You could have kept mum. But then Trevor tells Huggy that whom you are trying to consider as a beggar, he is not a beggar, but he is the millionaire in Europe. If he thinks he may stop Russia to go for war, if he thinks that he should purchase almost all the countries of Europe, he has the capacity to purchase all the countries. That much he is earning, that much he is getting. He is a millionaire. But then Huggy does not like the way Trevor has given the details of his affair with Laura, and the condition which has been given to Huggy by retired colonel. But then Trevor, after a while, Trevor says, this was actually the model which who used my dress, which dress I brought from Spain, and he is a millionaire. And what is his job? His job is to you know uh, uh, disguise himself with a particular dress, and he stands as a model. He wishes to be the model, and oftentimes he poses himself to be the model in my studio, and I paint his pictures. He purchases the pictures, and thus it is his hobby, it is his liking. So Alan Trevor, a famous painter of Holland Park, he tells Huggy that I told everything about you and Laura, and about the condition which has been given to you by retired colonel, that unless and until you get married, unless and until you earn 10,000 pounds, you will not be able to marry Laura. But somehow that is not liked by Huggy. Later on, Huggy tells Trevor that he has given one sovereign to the beggar, because he thought that he is a beggar. Uh, Before that, Huggy did not know that he is a millionaire. He is a billionaire. He is a millionaire, and he is a very rich man in Europe. He thought that he is a beggar, and what he had in his pocket, he gave it to the beggar. As soon as Trevor comes to know that Huggy has given one sovereign to this beggar, Trevor starts laughing like anything. And then after that, he tells Huggy that this is the richest man in Europe. Baron Hausberg is the name of this man, and it is his hobby to get the cobbled shoes, use my rugged dress which I have brought from Spain, and then he posed himself to be a beggar. He disguised himself to be a beggar just for the sake of painting. He wanted me to paint him as a beggar, and that is why he has worn these rugged race and the cobbled shoes and whatnot. But this is actually the twist in the story. When Trevor comes to know that one sovereign was given to the beggar, he laughs a lot and he tells Huggy that this baron will take this sovereign, he will fix it for this sovereign will be fixed for 6 months, and later on Huggy will be getting Huggy will be getting the check as an interest. Okay, he will save the money on his name. Okay, Baron Hausberg will save this penny on his name, on the name of Huggy, and every month or after every 6 months he will be getting the income. So the source of income will start afterwards. Okay, but that is not digested by uh, Huggy does not believe it, and he feels so embarrassed that what he has done is not good. And he tells that this beggar will definitely come to me and he will ask me to beg. But then, when he comes to realize, when he comes to the when he knows the fact that this beggar is no more a beggar, he is a millionaire. What happens? He feels embarrassed. Huggy feels embarrassed and he thinks that what stupid thing he has done. Okay, Baron Hausberg is a very richest European person. We have already seen it. He is very generous. He loves the gestures over money. Okay, when we consider Baron Hausberg, who is the model, beggar model, okay, for the painting of Trevor, right? He is touched by the gesture of Huggy. The boy, the man, the good-looking man, Huggy gives one sovereign. He puts that sovereign into into the feast of Baron Hausberg out of charity, out of generosity, and that moment, okay, that moment becomes so touchy moment for this Baron. He feels so very happy. He loves the gesture that Huggy came across the studio where he was resting on the bench. Baron was resting on the bench as a beggar, and Huggy, found one sovereign and he put it into the hands of Baron Hausberg. So these gestures are much applauded by Baron Hausberg. See, we are not talking about single penny which has been offered to the beggar by Huggy. No, but the gesture, whatever Huggy was having, out of nothing, he gave something to, he gave something to Baron Hausberg, and that gesture is one of the very interesting events which take place in the story. Huggy gives one sovereign to the beggar millionaire here, and this gesture over a small sovereign is much applauded by Baron Hausberg. He is a very down to earth person, Baron Hausberg, okay, and he loves modeling. I have told you that mostly he used to go to the studio of Alan Trevor. He used to ask him to pose him, sometimes a beggar, sometimes a rich millionaire, sometimes different modeling he used to do. He was basically an art lover. Baron Hausberg was an art lover. How do you come to know that he was an art lover? Look at the fact that being the richest man in Europe, he used to put himself under the guise of a beggar man, and he stood there for hours together, posing as a model for the painting which he wished Trevor should do for him. Okay, and later on, what he used to do, he used to I'm sorry, he used to purchase those paintings. He himself used to pose as a model of that painting. Okay, for hours together he used to stand there, and later on, as soon as Trevor used to finish the painting, that painting used to be purchased by the Baron himself. And this was his generosity, this was his down to earth quality, this was his love for art. His generosity was a likable element in the character of Baron Herzberg. He was a down to earth person. He was never pretentious, he never pretended that he is the richest person, he never showed his attitude to the world. What was important was the small gesture of Huggy, though he had nothing in his pockets, still he found one sovereign and he put it on the he put it on the hands of the beggar. And that gesture, that small gesture, was very, very likable thing for Baron Hausberg. And what he decides later on, Baron Hausberg decides that this 10,000 pound check should be given to Huggy as a wedding gift, okay? Because his gesture of giving one sovereign was very important for the Baron. And later on, he comes to know each and every detail about Huggy, because Trevor also tells Huggy that after he left the studio, Baron asked everything about Huggy. Huggy was a little shocked. He did not understand why Baron asked everything about Huggy and why this painter Trevor told each and everything to the Baron about the personal affairs of Huggy. But you see, it was a deliberate behavior on the part of Baron Hausberg. Baron Hausberg wanted to know about Huggy because that gesture of Huggy was so very touching that Baron wanted to know everything about this person whose name is Huggy, the hero of the story. Okay, and later on, what happens? Later on, he gives 10,000 pounds as check to Huggy as his wedding gift. When we talk about some he also, the Baron goes to the wedding as well. Okay, he talks, he gives a speech as well in his wedding. So thus, when we consider this story, okay, later on, at the end, in the climax, you find that the marriage takes place because the Baron gives 10,000 pounds as check to Huggy as a wedding gift. See, imagine if Baron would have given Huggy the job, okay? This is not the end of the story, okay? The end of the story is told to you. At the end, Baron Hosberg gives 10,000 pounds as check to Huggy, and thus Huggy and Laura gets married, and they live happily ever after, okay? Trevor and Baron Hosberg goes to their marriage as well, and things go all smoothly and happily. So the story ends on a very happy note that they get married to each other just due to the small gesture on the part of Huggy when he gives a single penny, single sovereign to the beggar who is a model of the painting. Okay, right. So when we talk about the minor characters, Miss Laura is a very compliant girl. She is in love with Huggy, but she respects her father's wish, and that is why she has to marry that groom who will earn 10,000 pounds. Okay, so if we look at this minor character, we come to know that okay, this minor character is also a very noble character because she wishes to give importance to her father's wish, and unless and until that criteria is completed by fulfilled by Huggy, she won't marry Huggy, she will not elope with Huggy. Okay, वो भाग के नहीं जाएगी, right? She won't elope, she won't abscond with Huggy. No. She will wait for Huggy to earn money. And what is the amount which is to be earned? It is 10,000 pound is to be earned by Huggy, and then only Huggy will marry the girl. But then Laura respects her father's wish and she keeps waiting. But here you find that this retired colonel is a very disciplined fellow. Naturally, a father should always be disciplined when it comes to the marriage of a daughter. Believe me or not, love will not earn you. love will not win bread and butter. You need to earn money. You need to have some profession. You should have the ability to earn money, right? Then only you will be the right person to be thought of as the groom of the family. So if the retired colonel is giving this condition, if he is applying this condition for the marriage to take place, that Huggy should earn 10,000 pounds so that he can marry Laura, he is absolutely right. A father should be that way only, okay? Though he likes Huggy, retired colonel, he is a very, sorry, disciplined man. Now, when we think about his discipline, being the colonel, you have to understand that he, of course, he must be disciplined. It's very it's very clear here as well when he puts the test for his would-be son-in-law by asking him to earn 10,000 pounds at first, and then he is all ready, then he is all set to marry his daughter. But before that, he will not give his daughter's hand in the hands of a person like Huggy, who has got no penny in his pocket, who does not know how to earn money, who has got no profession. You see, you have to understand, by looks only you cannot sustain the hardships of life, okay? That you are a good looking man so you can manage, it's not possible. You need to earn money for your bread and butter, for your basic needs to be fulfilled. One has to earn money, and that is the criteria which has been given to Huggy by retired colonel, who is the father of Miss Laura. Okay, now when we talk about the conflicts, we are coming to the last part of the story here. Okay, now the what are the conflicts we are finding in the story? Here we find that man versus society is the first conflict here. How Huggy is the good looking man. He is a very loving fellow as well. He is loved by the men as well as women. He is very very famous in men and women because of his looks. He has got beautiful crisp hairs, brown hair and beautiful eyes. But that does not mean that any girl will be marrying this fellow unless and until he is well settled. If he cannot earn money, his looks are of no use. So romance is the quality of rich people. Unemployed poor people cannot afford romance. So when we talk about this conflict, which is beautifully explained to you by Oscar Wilde here, man versus society, how society behaves with a man who does not earn money, or the man who is a sheer failure in all the businesses. Okay, now when we think about Huggy tries his level best to earn money. He tries different avenues, he tries different businesses, but somehow he cannot get success in those businesses, and in this way he becomes unemployed. Now here you find how the conflict is taking place. Huggy versus society. Okay, it's not easy for Huggy to get married to Laura, because society will want you to be well settled. You should be well earning person. You should win your bread and butter. You should be able to fulfill the wishes of your wife after marriage. That capacity to earn money, that capacity to fulfill the wishes of the family, to render the responsibilities of the family, one has to earn money, you see. And this is exactly talked about in the story, The Model Millionaire, Man versus Society. Okay, the other conflict is also found very beautifully here, that is man versus self. Now Huggy is troubled. Huggy does not understand what to do, but that does not mean that he has stopped his charity, he has stopped his generosity. You see, though he is unemployed, though he does not have money, he is good at heart. Okay, so here also you find that at one side there is a girl called Laura who is madly in love with Huggy. Huggy is also madly in love with Laura, and he wants to get married to Laura, but he cannot marry Laura because he does not earn money. He is unemployed. He has got no profession. Okay, so here you find the conflict is taking place in the character of Huggy from within. Okay, he does not understand, he does not find any solution what to do with all these, troubles and problems, how to overcome these problems, how to get the solutions of all these problems. But that does not, again I say, that does not mean that a person's goodness at heart will be wiped away. Okay, it is not the fact. Okay, it's not true. If you are good at heart, these things, these emotions or these ideas, these things will automatically come up. It will pop up whenever you will be placed in such a situation where you want desperately to, help others. If you are good at heart, if you are generous, if you are charitable, if you think about others, if you think about the well-being of others, if you want to feed others, if you are, though you are hungry but you want to feed somebody who is starving, this is exactly happening in the character of Huggy. Okay, so Huggy is having a conflict from within as well. He does not understand what to do, but that does not mean that he will stop his charity, he will stop his generosity. And that gesture, small gesture of, putting one sovereign from his pocket into the hands of the beggar, till the moment he did not know that the beggar was the millionaire, but he thought that he is a beggar, and since long he is starving, what he is getting is a small shilling out of the hours together standing as a model. Okay, and that is why, in a very generous way, in a very charitable way, in a very noble way, Huggy gives a penny to that beggar. So these are the conflicts you often find coming up, popping up in the story, the model millionaire. Now, when we talk about model millionaire, as you have seen the story, I have talked about the story in much details. Okay, so lastly, this small gesture of Huggy is paid off. And how it is paid off? This is the Baron Hausberg who gives 10,000 pounds check to Huggy as a wedding gift. And due to this small gesture of giving, inserting small sovereign into the hands of a beggar, is the, it opens the fate for Huggy, and it opens the ways to get married to Laura. So these are the conflicts which we find in the story. Man versus society. Society will not give you consent if you want to marry a person who has got no money. Okay, who has got no profession, who cannot earn. Society will not allow you to marry such person. So here you find man versus society is the best conflict which can be dealt here, which is beautifully dealt here by Oscar Wilde. So is with man versus himself. Okay, Huggy is struggling hard, he does not know, there are so many problems, he does not know what to do next. But though there are so many conflicts taking place inside his mind, inside of him, he is never forgetful about his generosity. As soon as he sees the beggar, as soon as he looks at his facial expressions, he feels like since long the beggar must be starving, and what he thinks that something is better than nothing, so he gives a sovereign to the beggar. So these conflicts are beautifully dealt and showcased in this story by Oscar Wilde. Now, what will you take away from the story? Now, I have already stated the first one. Appearances are most often deceptive. What you see externally may not be always true. Okay. So what we have seen, a book cannot be judged by its cover. When I say, there are so many examples one can cite here. Appearances are often deceptive. Social media, for example, FB has got so many beautiful pictures put, uploaded by profile pictures. Okay, some of them are Bollywood heroes, but this is the appearance. It is not the
Appearances
reality.
are often deceptive.
Yeah,
Social media, for example, FB has got so many beautiful pictures put, uploaded by profile pictures. Okay, some of them are Bollywood
Savita,
heroes, but this
yeah.
is the
I just want
appearance.
to,
It
yeah,
is
some
not the
people, as you are explaining the takeaway from the story, so if you can explain a little bit in Hindi, so the story will be revised also, and
Okay.
not very much in detail, but you are,
Okay.
as it is doing with the takeaway from the story, so
Okay.
you might explain a little bit in
श्योर श्योर
Hindi.
श्योर
हाँ,
श्योर
okay, okay.
तो थोड़ा हिंदी में बोला जाए, स्टोरी में मेजर कैरेक्टर्स है, जैसे हमने देखा, देर आर टू इम्पोर्टेंट मेजर कैरेक्टर्स. वन इज हगी हिमसेल्फ, द हीरो ऑफ द स्टोरी, ठीक है. और दूसरा इम्पोर्टेंट कैरेक्टर है उसका दोस्त जो है पेंटर. ओके, ये पेंटर क्या कर रहा है? ही हैज गॉट अ ब्यूटीफुल स्टूडियो. ओके, ही हैज गॉट अ लैविश स्टूडियो, बहुत बड़ा सा स्टूडियो है जहाँ पे ये आर्टिस्ट अपना पेंटिंग करता है. एंड यू मस्ट बी नोइंग इट. आपको मालूम है कि पेंटर को एक मॉडल सामने बिठाता है पेंटर, और वो को देखते हुए वो अपना पेंटिंग बनाता है. यहाँ पे जब हगी हॉलैंड पार्क में अपने दोस्त से मिलने, ट्रेवर से मिलने जाता है, तो क्या देखता है हगी कि वहां पे एक भिखारी है और उसके हाथों में अपना एक हाथ में कैप है उल्टा, जहाँ पे आप कॉइन्स डालेंगे एज बेगिंग. ओके, ही इज ट्राइंग टू बेग. ओके, एंड वन हैंड, और एक हाथ में उसके लकड़ी है. So that picture of this beggar is drawn, painted by this Trevor. ऐसे ही देखते हुए हगी को लगता है कि बाप रे, ये कितना गरीब है. अपने दोस्त को वो पूछता है कि सोचो, अगर तुम इसको कितना पैसा देते हो? तो ट्रेवर बोलता है, मैं क्या, उसको एक हाथ शिलिंग देता हूँ. ये कितना देर तक खड़ा रहता है? तो ट्रेवर बोलता है, ये 5 से 7 घंटे तक खड़ा रहता है जब तक मेरा पेंटिंग नहीं होता. फिर हगी पूछता है कि तुमको कितना मिलता है पेंटिंग के बाद? तो ट्रेवर सेज, आफ्टर पेंटिंग आई मेक द फ्रेम एंड दैट इज सोल्ड ऑफ. और मुझे जब मिलता है तो मेरे को गिनीज में मिलता है पैसा. तो हगी को बड़ा आश्चर्य होता है कि इतने घंटे जो मेहनत कर रहा है उसको इतने से पैसे मिल रहे हैं. ओके, जो मॉडल बन के खड़ा है. और इस तरह से उसको लगता है कि नहीं यार, ये भिखारी को कुछ तो देना चाहिए. हगी खुद ही बेचारा सा है, खुद ही भिखारी है. ओके, भिखारी इन द सेंस he has got no profession. He does not earn anything, a single penny. He tried his luck. Okay, अपना लक बड़ा देखा उसने, ये बिजनेस कर, वो बिजनेस कर, एक्सचेंज में भी जाके ट्राई करता है अपना लक, पर वो उसको कुछ भी नहीं मिलता. ही कैन नॉट अर्न मनी. फिर भी वो अपने जेबों को खंगारता है और उसमें से एक सॉवरिन मिलता है, एक पेनी मिलता है. और वो जैसे ही रेस्ट करने बेगर बैठता है, भिखारी बैठता है बेंच पे थोड़ा रेस्ट करने को, ट्रेवर भी थोड़ा सा एक ब्रेक लेना चाहता है अपने कामों से, तो ये जाता है अक्रॉस द स्टूडियो. और हगी क्या करता है, वो बेगर को, वो भिखारी को एक पेनी दे देता है अपनी जेब से निकाल के. तब तक हगी को मालूम नहीं है कि ये बेगर बेगर नहीं है, ये मॉडल है. और ये मॉडल जो है वो बड़ा अमीर ज्यादा, इतना अमीर है कि वो पूरे यूरोप की सिटीज को खरीदी कर सकता है. ही कैन परचेज ऑल द यूरोपियन कंट्रीज. अगर वो बोले तो वो रशिया को भी रोक सकता है वॉर में जाने के लिए. सो व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट ऑल दीज थिंग्स, जब हम ये स्टोरी को देख रहे हैं, तो ये छोटा सा एक जेस्चर है, कि एक पेनी निकाल के बंदा जिसके पास खुद के पास कुछ नहीं है, वो बेगर को भिखारी समझ के मिलियनेयर को वो अपने हाथ से एक पैसा देता है. एक जेस्चर उसके पूरे लाइफ को, इट टर्न्स एंड ट्विस्ट द लाइफ ऑफ हगी. हगी का क्योंकि लाइफ बड़ा पेनफुल है, उसको एक लड़की से बेतहाशा मोहब्बत है, लॉरा नाम है उसका, एंड ही वांट्स टू गेट मैरिड विथ लॉरा, बट देयर इज अ कंडीशन. उसको कंडीशन डाली है उसके डैडी ने कि जब तक हगी 10,000 पाउंड नहीं अर्न करता, नहीं कमाता, तब तक वो लॉरा से शादी नहीं कर पाएगा. अब ये छोटा सा जेस्चर हगी की किस्मत को कैसे पलट देता है, जैसे ही बैरन को मालूम पड़ता है, हाउसबर्ग को, कि ये इस तरह की स्टोरी चल रही है, हगी इज इन लव विथ लॉरा, और ये कंडीशन लॉरा के डैडी ने डाली है, बैरन क्या करता है, बैरन 10,000 पाउंड का चेक हगी को दे देता है, और हगी अपना लक आजमाते हुए he gets married to Laura, and this is the wedding gift by Baron Hausberg to Huggy and Laura. So when we जब हम ये बोलते हैं, when we take away all these issues and the themes from the story, हमको ये जानना बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है कि मनी इज नॉट ऑल इम्पोर्टेंट. मैंने अभी बोला था आपको कि हगी इज ऑलरेडी पजल्ड, पैसे नहीं मिल रहे हैं, उसको एक लड़की से प्यार है जिससे उसको शादी करना है, पर कंडीशंस आर अप्लाइड ओके बाय द फादर कि पैसा लेना है, पैसा कमाएगा, 10,000 पाउंड जब कमाएगा, देन एंड देन ओनली ही विल बी एबल टू मैरी लॉरा. तो मनी इजंट ऑल इम्पोर्टेंट, जब वो अपने हिस्से की एक छोटी सी सॉवरिन वो बेगर के हाथ में डाल रहा है, दैट जेस्चर is a gesture of kindness which can be deeply solicited. It is one of the best things one can do. You have a piece of bread, and if you find a hungry girl outside of your door, are you able to give a piece out of that piece of bread to that girl? If you are able to do it, that means you are kind, you are generous, you are having mutualism. These are the issues which are beautifully considered in the story, and they are absolutely wonderfully woven through these major and minor characters. So when we take away from the story, what we take away from the story, solidarity. हमको जरूरी नहीं है कि हर चीज आपको ही मिले, है ना, दुनिया में जितना भी मिला है उसमें से हम अगर दूसरों को दे पा रहे हैं, दैट एग्जैक्टली इज कॉल्ड एज सॉलिडारिटी. जब किसी को दर्द हो रहा है, इफ यू आर एबल टू हैव टीयर्स इन योर आईज, दैट इज एग्जैक्टली व्हाट इज एक्सपेक्टेड ऑफ एज अ ह्यूमन बीइंग. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सॉलिडारिटी. अगर मेरे दुख से आपकी आंखों में पानी आ रहा है, इसका मतलब ही ये है कि पैसा दुनिया में इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है, राइट? मनी इज नॉट ऑल इम्पोर्टेंट. व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट इज काइंडनेस, your harmony, mutualism, charity, generosity, solidarity. जब दूर कॉर्नर में दूसरे देश में अगर कुछ उल्टा उठापटक हो रही है या फिर कोई मर रहा है, पेशावर can be the best example here. I can cite Pakistan's Peshawar. All the school boys were killed, right, in militant attack. What happened to all of us in the world? We were all feeling sorry and we were deeply pained. This is exactly called as solidarity. जब हगी देखता है कि वो भिखारी बेचारा कितना दिनों से भूखा होगा, should I give him a last penny in which is in my pocket? If this is done by Huggy, can we not do it? That exactly is a beauty of this story. So kindness is to be deeply solicited. I mean, you have to be kind enough, then only this will be what you call the harmonious world and the ideal utopian world to live in. So these are the takeaway from the story. We have to consider appearances are always deceptive. जो भिखारी दिख रहा था वो भिखारी नहीं था. Do not judge the book from its cover. Okay, solidarity से जियो यार. If you have this feeling of giving a small piece of bread from your dish to somebody who is starving, that means you have got kindness in your heart. And this exactly is talked about in this story. Now I am on the verge of ending my lecture here, but before I end my lecture, let me talk about the title of the story here, The Model Millionaire. This is the title of the story, which has been very thoughtfully given by Oscar Wilde. When we talk about this model, okay, I have given this word in the last. if you see my screen. These are the homophones, most of the words which are pronounced just the same, but you find the meanings are completely changed. Sometimes the spellings are also changed. These are called as homophones. For example, SUN is sun, which gives you heat and sun rays, sunbeams, okay? And SON sun is my son, my boy, okay? So are the examples one can cite here, two, two, and two. These are the homophones. Here also the author is talking about this homophone model. One model is the model, okay? To look at the model and to paint the picture, okay? To draw the picture. This is the model. But at the same time, model is the standard as well, right? The perfect thing. This is the model. So these two are the homophones which are used beautifully by Oscar Wilde when he gives the story the title, The Model Millionaire. This millionaire is a model, okay? This millionaire is a model who is a beggar here, okay? What is he? He is a beggar model, okay? वो क्या बना है? वो मॉडल बना है, पर कौन सा मॉडल है वो भिखारी बना है. This is a model we are talking about. And when we talk about model millionaire, this millionaire is the best example for his generosity, for his charity, for his kindness, for his lovely heart. So that's that is the meaning of the title of the story, The Model Millionaire. So model, in both ways you can take this meaning. Model is the best example, and model, he himself has become a model as a beggar, okay? He is modeling is his like, he likes modeling. So that is the first meaning of the title. And the second meaning is more important. What is that? He is a perfect example. Though he is a millionaire, he is a model millionaire. You will not find any other person like him. So he is a model. He is a model answer. So with this, I end my session. Okay, I hope you must have understood the story, The Model Millionaire by Oscar Wilde. Should do you have any question to ask?
We'll wait for a minute.
Fine.
So that if somebody is writing, I'll let you know.
Okay. No issue.
Students, do you have any question? Please write in the chat box. It takes around 10 seconds, like there is a time gap.
Okay.
So the time lag is of 10 seconds. So if somebody is writing.
Sure, no issue.
I think they are all happy and they've all understood the story.
Somehow the story has to be understood by themselves. Then only it is all enjoyable, Telling a story is a different story. Understanding it by oneself is a different story altogether.
Yes. And they all enjoyed. So
thank you so very much. I hope it will be remembered by you all for a while. Okay, till you meet with your exam.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Savita.
Thank you.
Actually, you have explained, yes, the title also, the different meanings of model. Then you have dealt with the story and all the characters in detail. Then you explained the conflict, which is the heart and soul of any story. So
right.
Yes, and everybody really liked the lecture. I'm getting so many this thing on the chat box. People are writing. There's the nice lecture, ma'am. Nice story, and amazing. And yes, you can.
I'm sorry. Somehow I wasn't keeping well. So I was having trouble in my voice for a while. I'm so sorry for that.
No, but we did not realize it, and we enjoyed thoroughly.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
And whenever you feel like asking me to have any, helping hand to be, solicited, I will be all willing to help you all.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
thank you.
Yes. And students, Tomorrow again we have another interesting session, and that is with Dr. Praveen Joshi, and he will be speaking to you about the monkey's paw. Yes, it is another very interesting story.
Right,
Yeah,
the monkey.
but I would like to tell you that maybe the timing will be a little bit different. I will inform you about the timing. Please see the message which I send you. See, look for the link, and in that link message I'll be telling you the time when we'll be conducting the session tomorrow. So till then, happy learning. Go through this session. The PPTs all are there on the YouTube, and you can go through them several times. You can read them whenever you want, and they're all there with you. So happy learning. Bye bye.
Thank you so very much.